Surviving infidelity. Cheating fiancé tried to cut her ring finger off? To sum it all up, we've been engaged for over a year now. We were supposed to get married on our anniversary. But along came the bug and we had to postpone our wedding. She's been acting real shady during the middle of quarantine days, like hiding her phone and super fast reflexes to the message. This wasn't normal, and when I asked, she just brushed it off and blamed it on quarantine. Then come January, she's back to herself but overly clingy, too much care. I get some sparks, start snooping, but nothing on phone or her laptop. I felt bad for this, but then I saw a spare Android phone tucked inside one of her shoes, booted it up, and there it was. An emotional affair starting from September of 2020. But she ended it in January after it turned physical. They slept 3 times in a week. Her ending line was, and I quote, I love you but I love my fiancé more. I realize the time we spent was good, but it's nothing compared to what I had with my soon-to-be husband. The hell. I hope you will find someone better. For now, goodbye AP. Well, I can't say I'm Master Oogway in any sense, so I confronted her immediately. She let out the whole cheater moves out. Lucky for me I was prepared, thanks to all the Redditors. I asked for the ring back, but she wouldn't give it back, so I took it forcefully and I left. She texts and calls me every single day from then on. I got fed up, so I responded. She said she missed me and her ring finger doesn't feel complete without the ring, and she can't sleep without seeing me. I was more than pissed. I started lashing out at her, called her some awful things, then I finally said the only way I was going to take her back was if she cut off her ring finger, and I hung up. 2 days after that, her mom calls me and tells that she is in hospital, and that she tried to cut her finger off. I started to panic. I went to check on her. She started crying and I asked her what she was thinking, and she said if this was what I wanted, she would do it for me. I was silent and I left. So here I am typing this right now. I don't know what to do. She has exhibited tendency of self-harm before. I feel like I am abandoning her at her time of need. Any advice would be helpful. Edit. I am clear on where I stand. I don't want her back. It's over. She's my ex. The problem I am dealing with is, I don't want someone dead because of me, or at least people assume that way. If she ends herself with a note saying I was the reason for it, I have a high chance of getting screwed over by the cops. I won't be put in jail, but it could tarnish my career, as my job require keeping close contact with high-profile people. So you know how it goes. And also, my friend who suggested to post here on Reddit said he saw a post about a guy's wife who was caught cheating cut her finger after he asked her to. If you guys could find him, I could talk to him about how he got himself out of it. Now for the top advice. Just walk away. I've wasted 2 years of my life on a similar style of melodrama, and actually, it's just melodrama. It's just the feeling of regret that makes them believe they want you. The moment you make them comfortable about the incident they were involved in, it goes back straight to the same BS as before. Ironically, she even wrote to the affair partner, "Goodbye for now. How much more of an understanding would you need to realize that you are just the safety net, and the other guy is the fantasy? Just walk away." She will try and show you for months that she's changed, but trust me, that's not the case. I agree with this 100%. Check out borderline personality disorder. They have a tendency to do self-harm if you try to leave. That was my first thought: compulsivity, infidelity, self-harm/self-ending ideation, fear of abandonment, etc. I dated a girl with this, and she eventually destroyed me. Sad thing is, they take 5 to 10 years of therapy to change, usually down to the childhood trauma they suffered. First of all, you messed up with the comment about cutting off her finger. It's not your fault she did it, but you shouldn't have suggested it, or that other than uncheating on you, there's any way to fix this. Also, you now know that she's not loyal, reliable, or mentally stable. Do not, under any circumstances, marry this woman, and do not allow her back into your life or you will regret it. She ended the relationship after her 5-month affair, which she was never going to tell you about. An affair she had after agreeing to marry you. If she couldn't even control herself during the engagement, there is zero chance she could have been trusted in the long term. No. I don't think he messed up on that part. Anyone with a brain would know that he didn't mean it like that. She's just screwed up and trying to screw with his head. Other than that, I agree, she can't be trusted. Now for the next story. I don't know all the lingo, but wife of 11 years just admitted to a year-long emotional affair. This just happened last night around 4 in the morning. I couldn't sleep and she found me up in the living room. I told her I was deeply sad about our marriage, because it felt like there was a wall between us, and I couldn't figure out what was the matter. She burst into tears and said that she loved me so much, but no longer found me physically attractive, and wasn't sure if she ever really had. I asked if there was someone else, because we both knew that there was, and she confirmed it. I'll start at the beginning. We have a 2-year-old boy. About 6 months after he was born, she started having shoulder pain, so she decided to go to physical therapy. She came home from her first appointment raving about her physical therapist, PT. Apparently, he had a son our son's age and he was really nice. She also told me that she would be going back every week, at his suggestion. After a few visits, I noticed how happy she was after her appointments, and how much she talked about her PT. She insisted that we hang out with him and his family, so that our kids could play together. You know when you get that feeling in your gut that something isn't right? I had it pretty much right from the beginning. But I've always really tried to be a non-jealous partner, and I really didn't have anything to go on, so I pushed it to the back of my mind. I trusted my spouse and she had never given me a reason not to. We started hanging out with her PT and his family. His wife was a PT too, and soon my wife was seeing both of them, but still primarily him. Right from the beginning, she was pretty open about texting him. First it was primarily logistical, appointment times and stuff, but quickly became just about every day. We hung out with them on weekends and I was getting to know them pretty well. I still had that feeling though, I just tried to ignore it. My wife was really happy after we would hang out with them, and I figured with COVID, it was really nice to have another family in our bubble with a kid the same age. However, I soon started to notice that as happy as she was after hanging out with them, or seeing him for an appointment, she was really starting to get low whenever she was home with just me and our son. Next came the news that they were expecting their second, and my wife became obsessed with us having our second too. We had discussed having one but not so soon. Nevertheless, I agreed because I love our first so much and was genuinely excited. So, we started trying. And trying, and trying, and trying for 9 long months. We had always had a pretty good bedroom life, at least in my mind, so it was surprising to me just how not into it she was the whole time. She refused foreplay, and basically said hurry up. She had also slowly become less affectionate. Rarely touching me, and only responding I love you when I said it. Regardless, eventually she got pregnant and we were both so excited. That was the best we both had felt in a while. My wife also suggested that we split childcare with them. At this point, we were all hanging out pretty regularly, and this seemed like a good idea to save some money. My wife would pick up the kids on the way home from work and sometimes would stay pretty late over there. I was working from home and was pretty bored, but again I was happy that she had friends during this time. It went on like this for a while. I noticed little things that bugged me, like she would put on makeup to go to her PT appointments. When I brought this up, she dismissed it and said that she rarely got out and wanted to look nice. Again, that little voice. The highs and lows continued, as well as the lack of affection. We rarely being intimate anymore, but she blamed it on the pregnancy and being tired. It all came to a head a few weeks back, when her and him decided to go get the vaccine together, both in healthcare. After that, they hung out for the day and went shopping. His wife, who had also had her own suspicions, got really upset, and had a talk with him, and later separately with my wife. They weren't allowed to text anymore, except on our group text. My wife told me about this, and to my shock, she was angry at the wife, and said it was unreasonable. I knew right then and there what was happening, and it completely shattered me. I didn't say anything for a little while. She would make comments about how it was hard to talk in the group text because all the inside jokes had to be explained for myself and his wife, and other comments like that. Yesterday evening, she came home from picking up our boy, and was telling me all about him and some funny thing he had said. She was in her usual high spirits. I played along, but was just so broken inside. I don't know what was different about this night, but I couldn't take it. I did something so uncharacteristic of me. I looked on her phone when she was in the shower, and searched through the browser history. It was full of articles about infidelity, falling out of love and other similar topics. Later on, I told her I wasn't tired, and she went to bed without me. I could feel her slipping away and it was breaking me up. I sat on the couch and just thought. Eventually, around 4 a.m. she came out and asked me what was up, and that's how it came out. She told me that she had confessed her feelings to him, and that he had said he couldn't do anything because he was married. But he never stopped hanging out with her one-on-one, even after that. This morning, I confronted him and we had a talk. He didn't deny anything, but said that it was all one-sided on her part, and that he had rejected her advances. But he was very nonchalant about it and completely unapologetic. He said that it was probably unavoidable, because they were both such flirtatious people, but that nothing physical had happened. That's actually the word he used, flirtatious. I honestly have no idea what's going to happen. I love my wife so much, I really do. I can't imagine life without her. Even now typing this, I'm close to tears at the thought of being without her. In all 11 years we've been married, I've never once had a single doubt about our marriage until today. I've always been so attracted to her, and so incredibly happy with our life. This past year with her pulling away has been one continual heartbreak after another. It was like she was becoming a completely different person. I spent the rest of this morning pretending to work. I was so angry after my conversation with him that I've had trouble keeping food down. I took the afternoon off and went for a long walk, just doing laps at the park. I feel like I can't sit still, or the anger and sadness are too much. During the walk, I started reading some of the posts on this Reddit sub, and it was reassuring to see that I'm not the only one that has gone through this. If you're reading this, please, I don't need any advice. I just really need someone to tell me that it's going to be okay. Now for the top comments. We can't tell you it's going to be okay. What your wife, and this man did, is disrespectful and manipulative and pathetic. Just because there wasn't any intercourse, doesn't make it acceptable at all. Your wife had you all hanging out together, but had some weird flirty BS on the side. I would tell your wife that she needs to cut contact with both of them, forever, and that if she wants to stay with you, she needs to prove it. She clearly has some infatuation with this man, and that BS needs to stop now. I'm sorry this happened to you. I think we all agree we'd all be livid as well. It's going to be okay. She's only saying she was never attracted to you because she is in a fair fog. A fair fog will only end when you scorch the earth beneath her feet and take back your dignity, and she finally can see the damage she has done. NRE is a seriously powerful drug, and it makes you do incredibly ridiculous things. There really isn't a way to say everything is going to be okay. These things go many different directions after the significant other finds out that their spouse has been cheating. I also really find it hard that they haven't had sex. I know you got confirmation from both of them, but this normally is when you're being gaslit, so I'd take it with a grain of salt. The only way I've seen where you could potentially get her to come running back to you, is to go scorched earth on her. That is contacting a divorce attorney and start the drawing up of paper process. Either ask that she move out, or you move into a guest bedroom for nighttime sleeping. If she actually hasn't been sleeping with him yet, which I really don't believe, then this would be the only way I'm aware of that you can slap her face with reality. My SO emotionally cheated as well, and I caught her before anything physical happened because he was several states away, and for the days that I knew, she put me through this crap of I don't love you anymore, and I'm not attracted to you anymore. It was just all lies that she was telling herself. She needs a proverbial bucket of cold water, so she snaps out of the fog and realizes what she's actually giving up and losing. Wow. The I am not attracted by you is really evil. How do you respond to that? I am not attracted by you either, but that doesn't mean I am entitled to cheat on you. An insult for an insult, I guess. Now for the last story. Caught husband cheating, not sure what to do. So, I, 37 female, recently caught my husband, 35 male, cheating. A few months ago, he left his phone unlocked, and fell asleep. We have been together 5 years in July, and not once have I ever snooped through his phone, or even been suspicious. But I saw a girl's name, and I was curious. So I started reading texts. He was talking to another girl, she even met our 2-year-old son. He was also flirting and exchanging naked pics with the woman who cuts his hair, whom I have met. She also cuts both of my boys' hair. He claimed he never slept with either, but the messages were bad. He kissed the one girl, and was trying to get them to meet up with him while I was asleep. I was devastated. I never saw it coming. We had been having issues, but I thought it was because of political things, which is what most of our arguments are about. After days of crying and arguing and begging, I decided to stay, and work on things. They were okay for a while, but a few times I caught him talking to the hair lady, and I have asked him to stop, but he blows me off and tells me to trust him. Today, he left his wallet in my car, and I found a couple of business cards for a local massage parlor, with 4 frequent customer stamps on them. This place opened in the last year. I know they're not old, and a few months ago, it was busted for giving happy endings. Closed down for a day and reopened. I am 100% sure he's going there for X or at least hand jobs. I haven't said anything to him, I just can't stomach hearing any more of his lies. I want to leave, but I don't know how to handle it. I don't have finances to leave right now. We bought a house last year and that took a lot of savings. He's also unemployed and I feel bad for him. I've been taking care of most things. I also work full-time, and go to school full-time, so timing is horrible. Should I confront him? Ask him to leave? Or just bide my time until I can get money saved up and then leave? I don't know what the hell to do, and I feel so stupid I believed all the BS he has sold me. Now for the top advice. Do not feel bad for your husband. I guarantee he doesn't feel bad about disrespecting your marriage and cheating on you with multiple women while you worked, went to school, and paid the bills. Collect evidence and get a lawyer ASAP. Since he's unemployed he might get spousal support, but don't quote me on that. I wish I didn't confront my soon-to-be ex-husband immediately after finding someone else's lingerie. As soon as I did, he started hiding everything from me. Lay low and make a plan with a lawyer. Lay low. Play along. Then bail. OP he fucked you over so bad and shat on you in the marriage repeatedly. I'd be absolutely ruthless with such a person. Do not confront him until your things are packed and you're ready to leave. This is what I will do with who I thought was my boyfriend. Guess what? He's just a boy. Not my friend. Until this day I ask him about stuff I've found out, and he keeps lying and lying and lying. I say nothing. He would lie to my face until forever day if I confronted him and gave him reason to hide things better. So I lay low. I understand if timing is horrible or kids are involved. But emotionally? OP, where's your self-respect? Detach and done with. First thing to do is to find a lawyer. There are plenty of good ones who will work for people in your situation where money is tight. This is so that you can understand legally what you are entitled to in case it proceeds to a divorce. Should you confront him? That depends on the sort of person he is, well, what you know of him, and whether he may turn violent or not. Only you can answer this, but the consensus is to seek legal help first, find out your rights and then confront. Another thing you should do urgently is have a full bank of STD checks done. If he has been frequenting pros, you have no idea what he has done protection-wise. So for your own health, you should do this. In the meantime, and while you are waiting for your results, no intercourse. Timing is going to be one of those things that means that something has to give, but know that you can always pick things up like school later on. So, if you need to drop some classes or even a semester, know that it is not the end of the world. It is only time and you have plenty of that. At this point in time though, do not trust him in anything, document everything and try and avoid arguments where possible, even if it means biting your tongue and walking away. Do not agree to anything with him, and be as non-committal about everything that you can. But please, get some legal help to find out what you can and can't do. This is important and will help you see your way forward regardless of what you decide. It may take a couple of weeks to see someone, so for the time being, play it cool with him and play the long game. I don't think he could get spousal support. We're in Texas and he has worked our whole relationship, up until he lost his job to the pandemic. He was getting unemployment until last month. So it's not like I have been completely supporting him. He has never been violent, but he is manipulative, and will gaslight me. I have a lot of trauma, from my childhood, and a previous abusive marriage. I confided in him, because I thought he was different. And honestly, he was 5 years ago. But now, he uses that against me. I don't cope well with being yelled at, or fighting, especially when the kids are home. It causes me to shut down completely. He knows that and uses it against me. I guess my biggest concern is if I confront him, he'll convince me it's all in my head, and not to leave, because that's what happened last time. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.